Good morning. Today is the 1st of October, new month, and hopefully a good month for everyone. So I'll just get my pen up. Before we start, let's take a look at what news could move the market. We've got PMI coming in at between 10:45 and 10, so that could potentially move the market. Job openings as well, so just keep an eye on 10 o'clock today. And we have a lot of Fed speakers as well throughout the day. So you may see a bit of volatility today, but those are the times to bear in mind. Let's just get set up. Okay, so on my screen we're going to start off with the ES time frame, and we're currently looking at the 1 hour. So this is the S&P 500 E-mini futures, and it was a 1 hour time frame. So level wise, it's not really a great deal. We're kind of hovering up in this all-time highs area, but I'm watching this area here at 58.20 for potential rejection. I'll play carefully with this because we've rejected it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and maybe the 5th time we can see it break and come through, push back up. So I will be watching also for a break and retest long as well at 58.20. All-time highs coming into 58.30, so we could watch this area for potential rejection. Notice a lack of volume up above as well, and so it's going to be hard trying to find a decent trade. So that's the areas I'm watching, 58.20 really, and 58.30. Bounce wise, I do quite like if we come back down into this region. You can see we've had lots of time where we held the highs of the day, and then we came the lows of the days, and you can see with the point of control, the most amount of volume in this chart is right through this area. So I'm watching 57.90 to 57.95 for a bounce, and obviously we can't ignore 5800. Oh, 5800, that's a psychological number, and it was yesterday's low point as well, so we can watch that area as well for a bounce. And that's pretty much it. If we do lose these areas and we do break through all this volume, then we've got this bounce area. Sorry, I mean that's the pre-market low area, not yesterday's low. We've got this bounce area down into yesterday's low area. We can watch again for a bounce. Let's zoom out. Let's look at the bigger picture. Got this decent area here for a bounce around 57.36. We're going to see a big move down for that, but the next area, it's a tough one because there's lots of volume to the left, and we've got an area of confluence, so we've got to be watching 57.72 to 57.75 for the bounce area. And then we poked through that yesterday, and then instantly reclaimed it. So, and you can see there's a lot of volume in this area as well, so that's why I quite like 57.75 area for the bounce. That's it really for the ES. We'll take a look again in a few minutes and compare that to the order flow. Just quickly go through the rest of the charts. SPY exactly the same. I quite like the break and retest over pre-market high. We're looking still pretty bullish, big uptrend. So I do quite like the break and retest off of the 54, 574, 30 area. And then we've got all-time highs at 575, so you can watch that either for rejection or break and retest long into new all-time highs. If we fall down, then I quite like the bounce into this point of control area, and we've got 572 potential bounce area. We've got pivots, tops of candles, and lots of touches of bodies of candles as well. So that's a bounce area around between a pre-market low and 572. And if we lose that area, we've got this area confluence, bit of a gap over there, bottoms the last few days. Not quite yesterday's bottom, but we can watch this region for a bounce. 568 will be a better area to find a bounce, but all up to 569.75. SPX levels have probably not changed much from yesterday. No, pretty much the same. You can see yesterday on SPX came right down to this level we were watching, 5700 psychological number, area of confluence as well, bottoms and tops of candles, big max of volume, big volume shelf as well. So 5700, another day, another area to watch for a bounce, and then if we can get over this yesterday's high, then we're heading into all-time highs again, so look for the break and retest. And we can't rule out a rejection up here as well, putting in a triple top or quadruple top if we get up there. Yeah, looking pretty bullish still. Next up is NQ, QQQ. So NQ looks slightly better than ES. I may watch this a little bit more. We've got this area here we can watch for potential rejection or break and retest long for 2388. This area here. If we pull back down into the pre-market low area, I really do like this area for a bounce, and that's at 2189. You can see we've got a pivot there, lots of volume, so not quite the point of control, but lots of volume in that area. Pivot, 3 more pivots, and then we broke through, retested it, and we've been retesting it all week, well, since last week, and we've yet to come back down to properly retest that area. So I do quite like that 2189, and I'll also consider 20,000 to 2054, this region here as well, and that's a psychological number, and you can see we've been holding that level until we broke through and retested it. QQQ, even clearer on QQQ. What we want to do, if we can get above pre-market high, we'll watch for the break and retest long. However, we do have a weekly level at 490.41. I'll take a look at the weekly in a second. But if we pull back down, I quite like yesterday's low for a bounce, 483.10. Also have the 200 moving average coming into that region as well, and we have an area of confluence, lots of pivots over here as well, and we have a little bit of volume coming in. So I do quite like this 483 area for a bounce. So let's just put an alert in. Let's go to the daily. So what's this for? Okay, so this is like this gap originally. I think this line's been in place for some time. We've got this gap fill here, which we filled it, and we've got this gap fill here. So I don't think that's relevant anymore, so let's get rid of that. Volume wise, pushing up but on reduced volume, below average volume, so maybe we are starting to show signs of weakness up here. I've definitely seen signs of weakness coming up. There's no real aggressive volume. Unlike here, we had big volume as it was coming down, showing that we really wanted to push down, and potentially we're just looking at a pullback. But we have broken that high. Yeah, it still looks pretty bullish. And we've got the all-time highs at 504. So let's just go back to the hourly. So we're going to keep an eye on this area here, 491 I meant. I like it as well because it's also a gap fill area as well. Not a great deal of volume, but we've got a pivot there and we've yet to retest that area. So we'll watch 491 for a rejection, or we can watch pre-market high, break and retest long, potentially pre-market low, break and retest short as well. Crude oil. Okay, we talked about this yesterday. I missed this play, but we saw it pulling down, pushing down. We've broken this trend line, and we pulled down, and then on reduced volume we pulled back for a few days, and then we sold back off again. Look at that for a perfect double top. It's been a great swing trade. If we can try and find an entry, maybe I should concentrate on this a bit more in my swings. And then zooming in, you can see we've got this pattern here coming down, and then we sold off, came back up, retested today, or yesterday, today actually, on volume as well. So plenty of volume on this today, so keep an eye on oil. If we come back into yesterday's low, we can watch it for rejection. We want to go with a trend a bit. We are in a bit of a downtrend right now. Or we can watch for the break and retest of pre-market low, which is this area here. We are quite far away from there. We had a big push back up, but maybe this level here we've been watching for a few days as well. So let's just keep an eye on that area. We're holding it at the moment. If we break it and retest it, I do quite like the short. First target, pre-market low, and then levels below. So these are levels we've had in place on time. We came right into that level today. Let's just find another area. Go into the daily for this. It's been pretty bullish sometimes. We've finally broken this. So we can watch 63 and 59. Let's go back to the hourly, mark them off. What did I say, 63. So that's an area to keep an eye on, and obviously we've got this pivot down here. Let's mark that off anyway. 64. And we've got that pivot there at 50, 60. I quite like, we've got tops of pivots there, bottoms of pivots. It's a good area of confluence. So let's keep an eye on 59.76. Let's mark it up. Oh. 59.75. That area there. So these are the areas to watch for if we pull down. We've got a big void if we break pre-market low. Next area to bounce here at 64. Potentially. There's not much volume down on this bit. You can see the volume declines as well. So we can treat it as a void. So now our next bounce area is 64 to 64.50. Maybe up to 65. Yeah, I do quite like it for a short, so let's just try and find an entry. I'll keep an eye on this. We might be able to see it run for a bit. Big moving day like this would be great. So I'm watching today a break and retest of 67.13. I'm going to put in my alert. Really want to see it come back and retest or get close to that area. Otherwise we can watch yesterday's low for a retest as well, 67.60. And I'm a little bit short biased on this purely because we've got the reduced volume and we've got the pullback, double top and the break and retest. So, and we're below all the moving averages as well, and below some major and below the point of control. So quite a few reasons why I like that. Gold, it's been in this massive bull run. Missed this pullback. We were watching this area. We've got two areas to watch. We've got this region down here. We had this region yesterday. So we pulled back, and something to note, as the price was pulling back, also note the volume as well reducing, and we've broken that trend. This is exactly volume price analysis, exactly playing out as how you expect. So maybe we come back down, retest yesterday's high. I quite like it for the long. So let's find a level for that, and I particularly like it as well because we've got bottom of pivots, tops of pivots as well. So let's watch 26.665 for the bounce. If we haven't missed it already, we could have just had it here. Otherwise, watch for the break and retest of pre-market high into the point of control. That's a 26.85 for first target, and then whatever we can get out of the next. RTY, just going sideways at the moment. Not a big fan, but we can draw in a couple of trend lines. Keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on that one. Just approximating these kind of pretty much lines up. So this is what we're watching. We're looking for a potential break and retest of pre-market high long to break out of this pattern, or the break and retest of pre-market low short, or even yesterday's low to break out of this wedge pattern. We're in an uptrend, so we need to be favouring it on the upside. Break and retest long. So let's keep an eye on that. I'm going to put an alert in as well for RTY. You want to see it break out over these pivots. So area confidence as well. So let's just mark this off as a level. So that's the area to watch. 22.50, 22.53, break and retest long. Next up is the Dow Jones. This is the YM, still on the hourly. Again, looking really bullish, pretty extended. Oh no, we pull back to the 200. So I thought that was the 200 down there. I do quite like this area here for the bounce. So 42, psychological number as well, 42,000. And then I do quite like the break and retest over yesterday's high, pre-market high, to retest that. Is that all-time highs? I think it probably is. Yeah, to retest all-time highs. Weekly is a little bit extended. You can see it's been a year since we last got back to the 200 moving average, so maybe we could expect to see it snap back down to this region at some point. Holding this trend line, we've yet to break it, so until we break it, until we get below the 50 and the 20 and the 50, then we still got to be looking for longs. Let's go back to the hourly. Yeah, so I quite like the break and retest of pre-market high. Potentially, as a scalp, we can watch the breakdown of pre-market low, only because it's below the moving averages and we couldn't put in a new high here. We couldn't break out over yesterday's high, pre-market high didn't come close, but we can watch that area also for a break and retest long. And then finally Bitcoin. Still got this really bullish pattern. Just draw it in. So we've got this cup and handle pattern. So this is a cup, this is a handle, and look at that, we're kind of holding that range. I'm not going to fall for the breakout trap here, which I did originally. I added up there thinking we're going to break out. So I did take some profit a couple of days ago up here, and I want to add back down when we get back down to here. So that's kind of my plan, take a little bit of profit, and if we break out and then come back and retest, I'll add that profit back in again for the long. Still watching 50,000 for the bounce, and we're still well within this range as well. There's no play really. I don't really want to be adding up here. Yeah, I did get suckered in there originally. So my only add is back down here. Maybe I'll take some halfway. Area of confidence, you can see. So this is a good area to add, or to get in long if you're looking to find a long. Good area to get in long here. If we lose this area, then so be it. And we're basically looking at discount Bitcoin if we lose that area. So we've got lots of areas to buy back into at discount price. The only reason I add, if we get out of here, if we come back and retest that area, I want to see it break out, come back, retest, and then shoot on. So nothing at the moment other than a little bit of profit taken, and we're back below the 200 moving average on the daily as well. Okay, back to ES. Let's take a quick look at the order flow and see whether there's anything setting up. I'm just moving to my other screen. So you can see I've got four windows, and we've got the volume in the middle. And then let's just quickly go back to the hourly, so look at the levels again. Yeah, we're not really at any levels really, so there's nothing really to pay interest to. The filtered 30-minute, you see this heavy area of volume just around this region. We can just come back in there as well. We've got a few orders sitting there. Those red lines are showing me where there's orders, and that's from the post market, so I would say it's lower volume than we expected, so I probably wouldn't worry about it just yet. If we were to zoom out, no, nothing really nothing of interest. Having a bit of a sell-off right now. No signs that, you know, that looks like we've still got buyers up here, still got buyers up here, still got buyers up here, so I'm not sure if that's going to be a long-term sell-off or whether we're going to come back and retest these areas. There's nothing on order flow, so I'm going to call it a day on the pre-market. Just to recap the ES levels again, I'm watching for a bounce around 5800 down to 57.95, potentially a break and retest off the pre-market high 58.20 long, and then a rejection up at the all-time highs 58.30 area, or if it's a target I can consider a break and retest long as well. And then if we drop down into this region of confidence where this point of control, there's lots of volume down here, I'll consider a bounce around 57.80, and then we've got these two bounce areas down here at 57.32. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching.